let's say you're a +4 and you're trying to make the Walker Cup team or whatever, and you lose to someone like Colt Knost or some ex-PGA Tour player, you're telling me that you're not going to be annoyed a little bit?
Play better.
Vanity next time. It's powered by JLab. As well as Adams, I'm hanging alongside.
And we are fully in fall, Wellesley.
I know. This is my favorite time to play golf, I have to be honest with you.
It is so great.
I went out this morning and it was that like dew sweeper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw your car out there actually.
Yeah, and there's just really nothing better than being a dew sweeper.
You want to know the feeling I had in my head this morning? So I've been on the East. I swear to God, I only play golf on the East Coast these days.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing this podcast in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent a total of 2 days in LA in the last like 4 weeks.
Your wife must be pumped.
She loves it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the kids also love it.
Yeah.
They were like, we have a new daddy now. Like I'm fully been left behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Anyway, a lot of East Coast trips. Some golf being woven in there. I'm not traveling for golf. Well, some of them were.
Yeah.
Most of them were actually. But so I this morning I texted you. We were setting up this podcast, and you said can't play on Saturday because back's injured.
I said my exact words were, I effed up my back. Let's see how things go.
Okay. Well, I didn't really gather that. I thought you were going to recuperate at home. So this was last night.
Let me see. It was Grady who wants to play with us, famously, who did a handstand on the Sulkin Bridge at St. Andrews.
Yes, that Grady.
I wrote possibly, question mark. I pulled my back out yesterday, but I'm going to see if I can go tomorrow. And that was last night.
Okay.
So you just didn't listen to my text
I
message.
guess not. Well, where I was going is I went to the gym at the club this morning, and I pull in and I see your car there, and I was like, he's just trying not to play with us.
Well, let me tell you what happened today.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Because it's the most golf thing that's ever happened in the history of golf.
I can't wait.
So I went and played with Sean Multo, friend of the show, recently, and Matt Costin, another famous skateboarder. And on 13, the weather changed. You know, like sometimes we were playing like kind of like an evening round, right? And all of a sudden the weather changes and it just gets, there's a nip in the air. And we were walking up 13 and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's just tight, you know, like something's not right. So I stretch it out. I hit one drive off of 14T and I'm like, this is not good. And then like the 41-year-old in me I broke down. Like nothing worked. I had to like cancel everything that I was doing for the last 2 days just to like be laid up, right?
Oh.
And I got to a point where I knew I had a game today and I was like, I just don't even care. I need to go play. I can't succumb to my back, right? So I'm like, I'm just going to go out there. I got a couple of boys in town. We went out there. And I was like, maybe I'll just walk the front and then we'll see. Maybe I'll play the back or whatever.
Give it a little run. And by the way, just to paint a little picture here, when I walk into the studio, Wells is walking around like he has no neck that he can't move.
Yeah.
Like he's moving his shoulders to direct his head. Like you can tell this man he's in pain or he's protecting. I am protecting. I can't believe you. Just seeing how you are walking around your house right now.
Just what I'm doing right now, which is like trying to maneuver myself to you. Yes.
I'm shocked that you played golf this morning.
So anyways, I took a bunch of Advil. I always carry a flask in my bag, which I think is necessary for everyone.
Is that next to the crystal?
I don't need you to do what you're doing right now. It's next to the gummies. So I took a couple shots of some bourbon and I went out there and I was like, I'm just going to swing easy. Like I'm going to club down. It'll be fine. I swing my driver on one, flare it out right. Cause I can't get over to my left side cause my back, but it's fine. I'm in the rough on the right. I've got 150 in. Give me a 7-iron. Let's see what happens.
Oh, I know where this is going.
4 feet.
Of course.
Make par. Next hole, I actually pull my drive. Push my second one out right. It's a par 5. up and down par, whatever. Third hole, again, off to the right, par 3. Chip it up to about 30 feet. Long putt. Drano.
Love it.
Next hole. So this is what happens. I shot 1 over on the front.
He has his scorecard.
I have the scorecard right here. I shot 1 over on the front, and then I was like, I run into Santino because he's going off of 1. We're coming off of 9. He's like, what's going on? Why didn't you invite me? And I was like, I didn't know if I could play today. And he's like, how you playing? And I was like, I'm playing lights out right now. Then go off the back, bogey the first hole. Mm-hmm. All right, we're coming back to life, right? We're coming back to reality. Then I went par, 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 birdie, par, par, par. I shot 72 with no back today. No, it's not.
Club?
It's not. And we don't. No, and the fact that you asked that hurts because 71 is my best score.
Okay, well, I knew it was got to be close.
Yeah. Anyways, I did it.
That's amazing.
Just hitting. I was like, oh, this is normally an 8-iron. All right, it's a 7-iron. This is normally a wedge. All right, let's just go 9-iron.
And just go easy.
And so what I learned today is that I'm swinging way too hard all the time.
Do you think our ego is factoring into our scoring potentially?
100%. Here's the other thing too, is that like, so I couldn't get around to my left side. So I was kind of playing a little bit of a cut all day. And like, if I really get a hold of one, it's like 290, right? Maybe if it's downhill 300 or plus, but normally like 290 is like really get a hold of one. And I'm hitting these like little kind of like weak cutty shots. And my watch shows me what the yardage is. It was always like 270. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I haven't lost anything.
Yeah.
But I'm in the fairway every single time.
Right.
So anyways, it was one of those things where like, I wish that I'm never going to forget today.
It's awesome.
But I'll never be able to do it again.
But you didn't putt like lights out or anything, right?
Like I played pretty good.
Up and down.
Yeah.
It was like
I made 2 birdies.
Yeah.
And I think and 4 bogeys.
So it's that just like that control swing. Mm-hmm. It's like you do it once. I can remember I did that once this year too when I went up to San Francisco Golf Club when I had that huge win against the guy who we played like hammer on the back 9. It was like the most money I've ever won on a 9 holes. And I had the same thing because it was kind of cold, but it was dry. So the fairways were running. And I was just like, I'm just going to play up like a bunt cut all day.
Yeah.
And it was like 3/4 swing, but I was hitting the center of the face every time. And it felt like it was going longer because the way that course runs out, like it was, if it was in the fairway, it was trundling, you know? I didn't feel like I have to, and I'd never seen it before too, which I think is the other thing when you play your normal course, you kind of know when you hit a good drive, like how far out you are. And if all of a sudden you're way back, you're like, oh, I need to start swinging harder.
Yeah.
I've been trying to find that swing again for like months, like 4 months. And it's not there, but just that little, you know, and there's something to be said. If your back's all hung up, like you're not flipping over at it. You're not trying to kill it. It's just the big muscles. Cause that's kind of all you got. And I'm proud of you, buddy. That's great. Did you, were you guys wagering?
Yeah, I won all the money. Like it wasn't even close. To be honest with you, we were playing 9-0 because it was just 3 of us. But yeah, like they were like, do an add up on 17. And I'm like, it's not even close, guys.
Not even close.
I've destroyed you.
Well, I don't think we've actually. Let's talk about 9-0.
Yeah,
because we've never really talked about
game,
that on the podcast before. And just for our listeners who aren't familiar with this game, you know, we consider it our job to educate our listeners on all of the golf gaming possibilities. So. Hold
is
on.
the dog
Boo is I think she's burying something under the couch here.
Boo, stop it. Go lay down.
There you go. You can have that. All right, we found our toy. So 9-0, great game for when you've got 3 guys. Mm-hmm. So it is, each hole is worth 9 points. It's essentially like it's like a match play type game. So each hole's worth 9 points. If everybody ties, everybody gets 3. If you win, you get, well, it depends on what everyone else does, right? So if
I make par, you make bogey, the other guy makes double.
That's 5-3-1.
I get 5, you get 3, the guy who makes double gets 1.
Exactly. And so say like you make par or birdie, and then the other 2 make bogey. So you beat 2 of them, but they tied. It'd be like 5-2-2. Yeah. And then if you get all 9 points is if you win by 2. So you beat everybody by 2.
Yeah. So I make par and everyone else makes double
or something. And then you get all 9. And the 9-point swings can get, that'll kill you.
It also can save you though.
Right. But that's where like someone can get off to a huge lead.
Yeah.
So it's a great game and you can play for sort of whatever denomination you want each point to be. I think we usually play for like $2.
Yeah. So, I always say 2, but do you play winner take all?
What do you mean?
So like, let's say at the end it shakes out to like I made 37 points and you made 35 points and someone else made 27 points. Does a guy who made 27 points pay me and then also you pay me? Or
Yeah. Well, it's funny. There's like, we've done this with Wolf before because there's sort of 2 different ways to do it. There's sort of and really the right way is the pay up the chain model.
Yeah.
So like if you're in last, you pay, up to the next guy what he's owed, and then you pay on top of that to the other guy. And so it can get really expensive.
Yeah.
What we've done with Wolf occasionally is the friendly version, which you could also do it with 9 points, where you basically just like add up the total number of points and then divide it by 3. And then that's your basically like your bank. So that's kind of the amount that everyone puts into the pot.
Yeah.
And then you add on top of that, pay it on top of that, which is a way to sort of make it friendlier for a Wolf game that gets really out of control. Because if you're in last place at a 5-man Wolf game, like you can owe, and you're playing like even like $10 a hole.
Yeah.
It could be like $900. Like it gets ugly. So
I do like the winner take all thing, especially for 9-0, just because it makes it it's simple.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's a good way to do it.
We're all just paying the guy whoever wins out.
That's fun.
Anyways.
So how much did you clear? Did you pay for your cat? Did it pay for your caddy?
No. I think I 35 from one guy and like 27 from the other. I mean, it's $2 points.
Not playing for enough.
I know.
My philosophy is always,
dude, I went into this round thinking
that's true.
I might only walk the front, So the fact that I went out there and did it, and then what I ended up doing to them,
I know it's great,
was wrong.
I always feel like if you're playing with caddies and you're going to be tipping them, just play for enough money to like potentially win enough to cover your caddy.
Yeah,
then it's like a free day of golf.
All right,
it's the best. Obviously you have guest fees and things like that, but
yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you. That's great.
Thank you.
I played a little golf this week too.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. One real quick.
Okay. Bring it back.
Okay. So I obviously had to post this score today, and it really brought me down.
Well, good.
Right? Or up, however you want to say it.
Some strong negative differential.
But I've been playing so bad that did I tell you this last week? That my gin said, it doesn't matter if you put any more big scores in. You're not going in.
Oh, you got soft capped.
You're soft capped. It told me that.
Oh, that's.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't need that. And that hurts my soul a little bit.
That's
I know.
Going up too fast. People are thinking you're sandbagging.
I know. So I was up to a 5.3. I was supposed to go to like a 5.9, and it said, no, we're not doing it. Then I throw in this 72. 4-2, it says.
Yeah. No, you're just lost it all.
All that good work.
You worked so hard for that stroke.
Yeah.
In your index, and now it's just thrown away with one good round.
All right, so you've been playing some golf.
Well, like I said, I've only been playing on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it's like all I do, it seems like, is fly to the East Coast, have a bunch of meetings, and then try to squeeze in a round of golf. But this week was a fun one. So we were doing a leadership offsite, and I've never really had like the majority of my team in LA for whatever reason. My previous job was like based in New York, and I was out here. I had like, about 20 people in the office, but all the senior people were all in New York. And I'm like, well, Pro Shop is my company. I can set this up and hopefully like build a LA center of power. No, absolutely not. They're all in New York. Like everyone, finance, HR, our whole team, media groups, ad sales, really our CEO, it kills me. So of course, we're doing a leadership offsite. There's nine of us. And so we rented out this place called TPC Jasna Polana, which is in Princeton.
Okay.
And lovely time of year to be in Princeton, New Jersey. All the leaves are changing. College kids, are cramming for exams, I guess. And it's this like crazy old estate that looks like it was built in the like 1800s, but it was built in like the 1970s by like a billionaire for his like 6th wife.
Yeah.
And when we actually scouted it for Happy Gilmore 2, and one of the location people were saying that there's like a 10-person hot tub in the master suite.
Nice.
Because that's the way that billionaire rolled back then. But it's a beautiful facility, like a nice motor court. Like it's a very classy, clearly like someone's estate. And then in like, I think it was like the early 90s, they built a golf course there and it became part of the TPC network. They did a Shell's Wonderful World of Golf there. And then they've done a Champions Tour event there. So we were just in a ballroom or in one of the boardrooms, like having meetings. There was only 9 of us, but we got to play a little golf. And it made me really realize that that TPC style of golf is so, like, we don't really I guess we have some of those out here. Like I kind of say maybe Sherwood is a little bit like that. TPC Valencia is kind of like that. Yeah. But you play like the old courses here in LA, Hillcrest, Riv, LACC, Bel Air, Lakeside, all these great, Wilshire. Like they just play so different from this kind of 90s TPC golf course. Everything's so target oriented. Yeah. All the pins were like tucked in weird ways. And you're just like, God, this feels like when I was a kid going to like TPC Sugarloaf in Atlanta. And anyway, but what we played this game, it was, so there was 9 of us, and one of the execs, like, he doesn't really play golf. So he was just going to bat it around. So we played like 2 teams, 4v4, and we played a really fun format that I sort of egged the group on to play, which I'm going to pitch to you guys all now. And then, but beyond that, so there's the best player at our company is this guy, Nate. I've talked about him before. Yeah. A lot. He beat me at Ohoopee. He's beaten me many times. So Nate, it was in the other group because it was kind of like we were doing a handicap. So they needed like an A player, and I was the A player in one group. He was the A player in the other group. And so anyway, so I was like, we need some kind of game between the two of us. And neither of us really wanted to do like a overall score thing. And so we played birdie bonus, which is a thing that I learned from the PGA Tour players. Okay. They do a lot in their practice rounds. And it was just $50 a birdie. Mm-hmm. And whoever made the most, kept the money. So
yeah, but this is so unrelatable, Chad, because no one makes a lot of birdies. Except for like guys like you.
Yeah, but it was like a TPC course. There was like 4 par 5s. We were playing up. It was like, we're going to make So yeah, take a guess at how many birdies were made between the two of us.
7.
10. Jesus. I made 6. He made 4. But I birdied the last 3.
Did you really?
To just sprint past him. Wow. So it was the greatest day of my life, even though he beat me by 3 shots on the gross score. Because I started like double, bogey, and then kind of got it going on the back. But anyway, but the format we played was really fun, and I would suggest this for anybody who has like to play team, like a group game. So like if you have 16 people or something, you want to play a fun group game. So this is how we did it. So it was teams of 4 in your foursome, and it was like a net best ball type game, and you add them up. And so for the first 9 holes, you just take 1 score out of the 4 that counts. So you take your low score, your low net score. Then from 10 to 15, you take 2 scores of the 4 low net. Then 15 through 17, you take 3 scores low net. And then 18, everybody has to count. So it's Aggie for all 4. Yeah. And it was so fun because like you can kind of coast around on the front. There was people getting like 20 pops in our group. So there was, it was always someone kind of around par, making a par, par net birdie. But then you get to the back and all of a sudden you're like, okay, we need 2. So someone would be out of play. It's like 3 guys now, pressure's on. Okay, we got to get 1 in. So you get 2, pars, and you're like, okay, we're good. Or you get a par and then a net birdie. And you get to 16. And of course, I'd never play this course, but of course, in the very classic PGA Tour design, it was designed to play PGA Tour events. The last like 4 holes are insanely risk reward. Yeah. They're like, there's like a drivable par 4, but it's like all water on the right. Yeah. The next hole's like a super long, basically island green par 3 that plays like 185.
It's like every course in Palm Springs.
Yeah, water to the right. Yeah. 18's like a downhill par 5 that's reachable, but there's trouble and there's like a creek that you got to hit over. So it was awesome. So we like got our butts kicked on the front and then almost flipped them at the very end. They ended up beating us by 1 stroke. Oh. They were like 11 under on the front. I think we were 2 under. And it all came back on those last 3 holes because on 17, they like 3 of them hit it in the water. And so they made like a huge number. And then 18, it was kind of like their worst golfer made like a bogey to basically beat us by 1, which is awesome. Yeah. And, the pressure's on. So anyway, I love that format. I don't even know what it's called. I don't know what we would call it, but it's a great way to do teams across carts, and it works really well even if you have two. It's fun with like 16 people. It's fun with
24. How many groups did you have?
Just two.
Okay,
two
so it was 8 people. Okay.
Yeah, and one of the guys wasn't really keeping score because it was like his second time playing golf.
Yeah.
And I was proud of him for actually just getting out there and getting after it. But it's a really fun way to do it because it like builds the team spirit. Because I always hate, like, it's just 2 strokes from each group or 1 best ball. It's kind of like, all right, whatever. But it just meant by the end, you were like grabbing your teammates, like, okay, buddy, like, just don't hit it in the water. Let's just, and then, they'd get it over the water. I mean, there was like a guy getting 22 pops. He gets it over the water and we're all like, like celebrating and cheering, and he like lags it close and you're like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was like a great outing. And then the best part, we were staying on the course. They have an old house that's on the course. That was kind of where we were all staying. And so one of the guys like door dashed a bunch of LED glow in the dark balls. So at night after dinner, we would go out and putt. And these things, we were originally planning on like playing night golf, and they were literally like harder than rock. I mean, I was like, I am not hitting this with a real club. It's going to like snap the head off. But it was super fun for putting, and we'd go out and just like hit these crazy long putts and the light up golf balls. It was a great trip. That was my experience at Jasden Polana. And then I started the week on a very high note. I got a nice invite out to Oakmont in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're wearing an Oakmont cool shirt. I commented on like, oh, cool shirt.
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, but look at the
I was like, look at
shoulder.
Little shoulder, little Oakmont. Yeah, I usually am not like much of a pro shop haul guy, but I was like, this is a cool idea. Yeah. A little shacket.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called a Lodge shirt.
I love it.
Johnny O, and a little Oakmont logo. It's pretty nice.
So tell everything.
So it was, we got like it had rained when I landed in Pittsburgh, and like on Sunday afternoon, it was pouring down rain. We were playing Monday. Classic, like I had Monday morning meetings and we were on the box at like noon.
Yeah.
And this was like an outing. So it wasn't like I was being hosted by a member, but the outing's being hosted by a member, but it was like a big outing for a golf marketing agency. And so we were in a shotgun start, which, like anytime you're playing like a place like that, I'm like, I really want to play it like from the beginning, like play it like you would, but whatever, you're playing.
Beggars can't be choosers at this point. Yeah.
Totally. And so, but it was a bunch of like golf marketing people, a bunch of agents, people I know. There was like a couple players that were out there who were, had brought in by the agency. They rep players too. And so they were like, popping into holes with people. And so I had like a meeting, and I'm looking at this meeting that's running long, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally going to like have to go straight to the tee and like do my shotgun start with no warm up. So, flying across country, old man, myself, more gray hair than you. I'm already stiff. I'm sitting in a conference call, like in a phone room in Oakmont. Immediately, it's like we're off at 12:30 and it's like 12:20. And so no balls. I just like go and I get shuttled out. So I'm like, where are we going from? We start number 3, which is the number 1 index at Oakmont. So it's literally like the hardest course in the world.
Yeah.
The hardest hole.
Yeah.
No warm up.
Great.
Fire away.
Yeah.
So like you, we were talking earlier about ego, so I'm like, I'm going to bust a driver out there, right? Split the church pews, yank it left. And I get over to my ball, and it's like, it's one of those shots where I think I had like 200 yards. So not great, uphill. The ball's down in the bunker in between the church pews, or on the church pews. And I'm like standing in the grass. So it's like, it's a foot below my feet. But I'm like annoyed because I didn't get a chance to warm up, and I'm like, I should have just like hit 3-wood or something. And the caddy had like walked off to the other guy, and I had grabbed like a 4-iron because I thought I was going to be able to get out. Did I like walk back to him and say, no, give me a wedge, I'm going to punch out? No. I was like, I'm going to hit 4-iron.
Yeah.
So then I, do something stupid, ego. I don't even make it out of the bunker, and I'm making 6, huge, just double out of the gate.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that for the first few holes.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But we, then you kind of get into the groove of the round. You start to get warmed up, and I started playing great. And the wind was up, which was like, we were playing like 30-mile-an-hour winds. The greens were like 16.5. I mean, this is like so fast. And I ended up shooting 81, which I felt pretty proud of, all things considered. And for like 16 or 15 of the 18 holes, I hit it like pretty good. And it just was like a real wake up call for just like how hard that place is.
Yeah.
And one of we finished on number 2, And so number 1 is like a hole that I've always wanted revenge on because I hit it out of bounds the only other time I played it. And so I hit a really good drive on 1. And that hole, if you remember from watching the US Open, is like straight downhill.
Yeah.
So I had 174 in, and the caddy's like, well, you gotta, how you feeling? I'm like, well, I'm thinking like 8 iron. He's like, oh, I'm thinking putter. I was like, you kidding me? He's like, no. I mean, like, you got to fly this like 135.
Really?
So maybe like a wedge, or you can just putt it. So I was like, okay.
You had 170 in?
174, yeah.
Okay.
So he gives me the putter.
Okay.
So he's like, all I want you to do is just like hit it to the right side of the fairway, but you just got to get it over the edge.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll stop. Hopefully it'll stop. That's what he said. So I hit like a lag putt. I didn't like hit it hard. It wasn't like I was like taking a full swing of the putter. I just like lagged it to the top of the fairway, and it just starts to trickle down. And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, is it not going to get there? He's like, oh, no, it's over the green.
Whoa.
So then I like walk up to the edge, and I just watch my ball like go right on the green, start tracking towards the hole. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to go in.
Yeah.
And then just goes, keeps going like another 50 feet off the back edge of the green, off the back into some thick rough. So then we, pretty straightforward chip back up.
Yeah.
Ended up making 4, but it was insane. And like, that's the first hole of the US Open. You could literally putt it from 174.
Yeah.
And so I finished the round, and there was a guy who was on the PGA Tour. It was Neil Shipley, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and out
nice.
Neil Shipley was there.
Love Neil.
Love Neil. His hair looks great. He lost a lot of weight.
Really?
He's on a diet. He's got a nutritionist.
He's probably not drinking Keystone Light.
No.
Much.
Yeah, he's fully like, he got his PGA Tour card a month ago. So
body built by Waffle House.
Well, exactly. No more. No longer. He's gluten free. He's no sugar. Like, he's going for it. And
body built by Erewhon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's an Erewhon guy for sure. Neil is like, definitely, he's an Erewhon soul.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The Waffle House thing, he's very relatable and a college guy, but like, he's way more Erewhon than he is Waffle House.
Yeah.
In the best way. I love him. Anyway, but I was like, dude, that's freaking hard, He's like, yeah, man. He's like, this place, you could host a US Open there. Like, he's like, I bet that course today played harder than it did during the Open.
Yeah.
The rough is shorter, but the greens were faster. It was dry. And he's like, and the wind, it was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. So I asked him, what do you do on 1? And, I told him what happened to me. I was like, I putted it from 174. I was over the green. Like, I have no idea how you stop it. He's like, oh yeah, no, you just got to land it in the little upslope right in front of the green. And I was like, so my yards was 174. How far do I need to fly it? He's like, 141.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I fly at 145? He's like, gone.
Yeah.
What about 135? He's like, gone.
Yeah.
It's 141. Just land it on the front edge. And that'll kill it a little bit. Then you might hold the green. So anyway, great trip. Glad to be back. I don't have any East Coast rounds in the plans for any time soon, but it was a great hang.
Well, I'm glad to have you back, and I'm glad that you putted from 175 yards out.
First time ever for that. So I was, went into Oakmont. That's what you got to do.
There's some things that are happening in the golf world right now that I think that we need to talk about. First and foremost, Amazon is now, they are presenting the Skins game on Black Friday.
They are. It's Amazon Prime, yes.
So they are getting into the golf game, it looks like. And Amazon has now released the all-new Core Soft golf balls as part of their Amazon Basic brand. The balls come in at $14.49 for a dozen or $24.16 for 24 balls. So you can get a rack of balls for $1 a ball. So this is now undercutting the Kirkland signature ball. My thought to you is this. Is this a sign of golf going the wrong direction?
Oh, get out of here.
Or the right direction?
Get out of here. You guys buy like cheap, top flight XLs at Kmart.
True. Do they still make pin seeker balls?
No.
No?
Do they? I don't think so.
What about pinnacle balls?
There has to be.
Pinnacles?
You should bring that brand
Some
back.
Pinnacles?
Yeah, some Pinnacles.
Yeah.
It was like always the top flight XLs. And I remember when it was like when Hal Sutton won the Players with the Strata, I was like, I'm playing Stratas. Because they were like half the price of Tour Professionals, but it was like a Tour level ball because Hal Sutton won the Players with it.
That was the right club today.
That's right.
Yeah.
The intro to No Laying Up is that. I think this is always great. I love this stuff. I love as a kid who didn't grow up, super affluent.
Yeah.
We never had Coke in our house. We never had Dr. Pepper. It was always like Dr. Sam's Club,
Mr.
You know?
Pibb?
Yeah, no, it wasn't even that. It was the knockoff brands.
Yeah.
You know, it was like cola, you know, and it was always from like Walmart or Sam's Club, you know, the knockoff stuff. And it never tasted, you know, anything like.
Never tastes good.
There's no carbonation. You know, it was like skipping that step. But so I'm a big fan of the like, you know, store brand, and love that golf is starting to make a big enough wave that that Amazon gets into the game. Interestingly, you know, the Instagram algorithm, just to talk, the first time I was like, okay, maybe golf is really like jumping the shark a little bit. It's not related to the Amazon balls, but today I was posting something. We had a new podcast clip go up, so I was kind of like commenting on it, and my Instagram feed like fed me this Tash Golf, which are these two girls that are like, look like OnlyFans models, but they're playing golf together. And it was like a very sexually innuendo charged clip of them like, get it close to the hole and we'll both be in our birthday suits kind of thing.
Yeah.
And these are like two very attractive women. And I'm like,
wait, are they good looking?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And I was like, what is this thing? Like who are these people, you know? And so I just like click on the account, and they don't have that many followers yet. I mean, it's maybe like 10,000 followers. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, who are these people? But then in their bio, it has like another link for like the actual, you know, Tash, whatever her name is, Natasha something.
Yeah.
And I click on her, and she's got like 2 million followers and like a link to her OnlyFans.
Of course.
And then the other girl, I found her, and she's also like an OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
And they've just started a golf channel because they're like, you know what?
Here we are.
That OnlyFans biz.
Yeah.
It's not gonna pay the bills forever. You know, they say golf's a game for life.
Yeah.
That's 100% the only reason why they're doing it, is because they know that golf is for life. And that if you want to be, you know, in the business world, you got to be good at golf. It has nothing to do with the rising consumer interest in golf.
Yeah.
And the idea that their OnlyFans page maybe has topped out, and so now they're bringing that energy to golf. But I was like, wow, when the online OnlyFans models are basically starting golf brands or golf channels, and they're not like, it's not like the Grace Chara stuff where it's like over the top. They're like dressed nicely and they look like they're trying to play golf, and it's just a little sexually charged. And I was like, okay, maybe golf's hitting a certain threshold here.
But what was their monthly subscription rate?
What do you mean? I mean, it was $11.99
for OnlyFans. Yeah. I got it.
It was just, but for research purposes, all obviously. Anyway, so yes, not to take us off the rails here, but yeah, I wonder if they're going to get into wedges. I mean, if you kind of follow the Kirkland playbook, like you'll go, you know, the balls, then maybe some wedges, putters, things like that.
I do like the logo of it, because it's the Amazon logo, which is like the smiley face, which I think works pretty well. It might help you if you are trying to hit a hook. That's the club path true. You're trying to do.
Do you line up your putts? We were talking about this.
Okay, so I actually been wanting to talk about this. I've stopped lining up my putts because something that you said actually is when you kind of like fall in love with the line, and all of a sudden you're not worrying about speed. And I'm really more concerned about speed now than I really am about line. And if you know things line up perfectly and it goes in, great. But if it's a 4-inch putt, I'd love that. You know.
Yeah.
But one thing I do is I do line up my drives.
Interesting.
I like to have the line of where I'm trying to go with my drive be perpendicular with. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I don't know. I always like.
What do you do? Does it matter where it is?
I mean, you know, yes, technically, if I'm really trying to hit a good one, I like don't want to see any logo.
Yeah.
So I'll have kind of like, if I'm playing Titleist balls. And so, you know, like the Titleist logo will be facing kind of the club face and the fairway.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of the way I orient it. You know, facing up, can't have it upside down. That'd be so weird.
God. No.
How would you swing?
What are you, left-handed?
How would you swing at it? Yeah, exactly. But we were talking about this at Oakmont actually, and because it's like the greens are so fast. The other thing that was cool about Oakmont, just to throw out there, like there are no like the greens were 16 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these were, I think, definitely I'd say like the fastest greens I've ever played.
Okay.
Maybe like maybe I've seen, maybe the faster it was Palmetto and Aiken. I played Palmetto once the week of the Masters, and those are basically the same kind of greens they have at Augusta, these bent greens, rolled, whatever. And whatever it was like 5 years ago, I played Palmetto Country Club in Aiken, South Carolina, and the greens were literally like it was like putting on a wooden floor. But other than that, I think these Oakmont greens were the fastest, and the wind was blowing. So, you know, it was like their ball was like getting affected by the wind. The cool thing about Oakmont and having we've been talking a lot about Winged Foot because we were on the last episode. Winged Foot, there are parts on that course where you can get above the hole and you're dead. Like you're putting off the green. It's literally impossible to get close to the hole. And as fast as the Oakmont greens are and as much undulation and how kind of crazy the slopes are, there's really no part of a green that you can be on that's unputtable, that you can't actually get it close, which I really appreciated. And I think probably it was like the pin positions that we had. But even still, like the way the greens are designed, there's roll-offs and false fronts and stuff, but then there's kind of like mid bowls within the greens. And then there's kind of like side bowls and hills. And so like, even if you're totally out of position and you're putting to the front edge of a green and you're on the very back edge, like you're not ever like putting it off the green unless it's like not impossible. Like at Winged Foot, there's a lot of places where if you're above the hole, it's impossible to stop getting close, which I just thought was like a really, just like a refined part of Oakmont where no matter where they stuck the pins on as fast as the greens could possibly be, there was never a time if you were above the hole where you were like, it was impossible to get close or make, which I thought was really cool. It seemed very fair. Like the greens were very fair. So anyway, enjoyed it.
All right, time right now for our segment I like to call Overheard from JLab. From the lab to the course, JLab Tech is trusted by the pros with gear engineered in the lab, built for every practice, every flight, and every moment you need to lock on in.
As you know, I've been on the road a lot. I've been rocking the JLab Bluetooth over-ear headphones, amazing noise cancellation on those things, and have been just like knocking it out of the park on my flights, watching movies, getting work done. JLab delivers headphones, earbuds, Bluetooth speakers designed for life that respect your budget. Look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com.
The thing that's overheard recently is the chatter online about whether or not Colt Knost, who is an ex-PGA player turned analyst.
He's Colt. He's the Walker on-course reporter for CBS.
On-course reporter.
Yep.
Friend of the show, is now trying to get his amateur status back, and a lot of people are not super pumped about this.
Well, so I'm so glad that we're doing this as our Overheard, because one, we had, if you recall, if you're an avid listener of this podcast, you remember we had Colt on to talk about the Walker Cup because he was one of the most accomplished amateurs ever. I mean, he won the U.S. Amateur.
On arguably our best Walker Cup team, he might have been the best player on it.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Rory's first Walker Cup at Royal County Down, DJ, you heard all the stories. If you didn't, go back and listen to the Colt Knost episode. So one, I think the context of why we had Colt Knost on the show was not as a guy who walks on the course at Augusta and calls the Masters for CBS. He's not the guy who's at Waste Management with Amanda Balliona sitting there when Sam Ryden makes the hole-in-one. We were talking about amateurism because he is the consummate example of like an elite amateur who got to the pro level and didn't have as much success as he had in an amateur. But he will always and forever be this like iconic amateur player.
Yeah.
And he is, he like a lot of those guys who win the US Amateur, they have like a cup of coffee on the PGA Tour and then they're gone and you never hear from him again. Colt like had a career, but it wasn't like he was winning week in and week out. I mean, and he's just a great personality. And he like, to me, embodies the kind of amateur spirit of like an amateur stick more than like a lot of these ex-pros.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy who likes to go have a few drinks. He likes to play for some money. He likes high stakes. His game, and I've played with him. Like, I think said he was a +2 now or +3, maybe +4.
Yeah.
Like it's not like playing with Justin Thomas. Like he's good. Like, of course he's good. He hits the ball well, but like he's gotten older and like he doesn't move the same way he does. And it's like, he's not a tour player. And so I think that this whole argument that Colt is, despite, playing on the PGA Tour for how many years, winning so many millions of dollars as a PGA Tour player, like there's a process for getting your amateur status back. And for Colt, he wants to be able to go and play, I'm sure, in the 4-ball with Drew Stoltz, who is his co-host on Gravy and the Sleaze, and they do the Subpar podcast together. I'm sure he wants to go play in the Mid-Am because it's like all his buds and pals and people he used to play with. And you talk to him and he's like, hey, he's got his career figured out. Like he's got a great job at CBS. He's an iconic part of those broadcasts. Hopefully he's on that air for them for a long time. And he's like, okay, I got my like post-golf business thing figured out. I miss competing. And there's only so much action I can get at like Whisper Rock that's, gonna stroke, kind of like scratch the itch. I want to go out and compete, see what I got. And for someone who has not been religiously practicing since they were 12, like I think it's totally fine. And there's a process for reinstatement that there's no rule in there that says if you've won X number of dollars, you're not allowed to be reinstated. And I was trying to think about a good analogy for this, and I'll let you talk here in a second, but I've been trying to think of a good analogy, and there's really no other sport where you have this argument. It's not like if you are an ex-NBA player, you're not allowed to play pickup basketball, but there's not really prestigious amateur basketball tournaments. And so it actually kind of had me come full circle on this topic and just be how special and unique golf is in terms of this, the fact that there would actually be people who are mad that a former pro athlete is now competing again. And maybe in a way that you could watch him on TV, a fan favorite athlete out there, trying to win a championship. And it just so happens to be for an amateur championship. It's just such an interesting thing. Golf is such a weird sport because you have the USGA running these amateur championships that mean a lot to people.
Yeah.
That you would get the entire internet up in arms and people saying this is against the spirit of the game and we need to change the rules. And is there anything like amateurism in any other sport that you can think of?
No, and the scale has slid so far away from what it originally was. And that's not me saying that what it originally was right. But Bobby Jones would never have been allowed to do this, right?
Yeah, but Bobby Jones...
For sure, but you know, never a pro. But you know what I'm saying in this thing, right? There was a clear distinction between the two, and there's been a lot of literature written about the kind of BS that the Bobby Jones of the world, or Francis Ouimet for that matter, dealt with their amateurism and professionalism. Francis Ouimet, I think, famously lost his amateurism because he owned a sporting goods store that sold golf clubs, and that made him part of the golf world.
Sure.
And I guess the same could be said about Colt Knost. Is yeah, sure, you're not playing professionally, but you are still a part of this machine, whatever. I don't know if I really care. Hold on. You spoke for a long time. I want to talk about this. I like Colt Knost, and I want him to be on our Ryder Cup team. And I feel like that's what we're trying to do.
Walker Cup team.
Sorry, yeah. I like Colt Knost, and I want him to be on our Walker Cup team. And I feel like that's what we're trying to do, right? Him being the mid-am. Who's the guy that we did the whole...
Stuart Hagestad.
That's who we want, right? We want that guy to be out there doing it. Here's my thing. If you're in your club championship, does it annoy you a little bit if a Corn Ferry Tour guy comes in there and wins?
Parker Letts.
Yeah. Does it annoy you a little bit? Because you're dude, but you played professionally. And my other point is this. It's one thing if you're a guy who had a cup of coffee on the PGA Tour, but it's another thing if you were a guy who won on the PGA Tour. And I'm pretty sure Colt Knost won on the PGA Tour.
I don't think he did.
Did he not? Let's look that up.
Let's look that up. You're not the first person to ask that question.
Okay. He did not win on the PGA Tour.
Vindicated.
Okay. So I change everything I said. I think that I think that the caveat should be if you won on the PGA Tour,
sure,
you don't get to go back to be an amateur.
I think that's a pretty good caveat.
Okay.
I also the thing about it that I think is cool is that they're playing the thing you have to remember, the point of amateur golf is they're playing for history and they're playing for heritage and they're playing for a championship and they're not playing for money. And so if you're a pro golfer and you were formerly pro golfer and you're willing to go and grind it out, qualify for an event, play for 5 days if it's the US Amateur, just beat yourself up and not get paid for it, you should be able to win it. It's awesome. That's the whole point, right? If there was I would love to see a lot of these guys like Colt who are in your ear on the television, almost every week on the PGA Tour. You're hearing their voice, big characters, great personalities, great for the game in general. He brings a lot of levity to it. To have him go and play, I don't want to watch Colt Knost on the Champions Tour. Yeah. I don't want to watch Colt Knost playing in a Corn Ferry event or because those guys are trying to be pro golf. They're trying to increase their status, trying to earn money. They're trying to build their careers. There's a drive to pro golf that whether you're on the mini tours or you're on the Corn Ferry Tour or the PGA Tour, it's your incentive is to build your career, win money, win the biggest championships in golf. It's very hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to keep your game sharp. It's a lot of work to travel. It's very expensive. the idea of playing a championship for no money, like that all you win is a trophy, is the whole spirit of amateurism.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you used to be a pro or not. That's my take.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to go be a former pro and you're willing to put your talent out there for people to watch on TV, be a draw for that tournament that probably loses money.
Yeah.
But they do it anyway and they put it on TV anyway. And you are playing for the love of the game because you want to win is kind of like awesome to me and kind of the spirit of amateurism. And like if I don't know, like if Rory McIlroy was like, I'm going to go play in the US Amateur this year and I'll play golf in front of millions of people and not get paid for it. Like it's kind of like, yeah, that's awesome. Go do, like these guys would never do that. They would never in a million years do that because it's a business.
But let's say you're a +4 and you're trying to make the Walker Cup team or whatever, and you lose to someone like Colt Knost or some ex-PGA Tour player. You're telling me that you're not going to be annoyed a little bit?
Play better. Play better. That's the best part about golf.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to get, you can be good at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, the mid-am thing, I get like why the USJ started the mid-am.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it used to be the US Amateur was all these like professionals, like true professionals, not like professional golfers, but like lawyers and, bankers and insurance guys and, whatever, like doctors. I don't think there's not many doctors in it, but you know what I mean? And it was like people with families and jobs and lives, and they would go and compete. And it was an amateur championship for them, the US Amateur forever. That was kind of the thing. And then in sort of like, I guess maybe it was like the 60s through the Ken Venturi era, it was like right in that era of when that book was written. It was when kind of amateurism started to shift towards like the Jack Nicklaus of the world, where it was getting younger and younger. And it was kind of like the next superstars of pro golf were kind of coming out of the amateur ranks. And that was obviously basically Nicklaus was probably the first one, and like Johnny Miller, that were like amateur champions that then became like legendary pros.
Arnold too. Arnold was a little bit before Jack.
Yeah, a little bit before, but it was like so the US Amateur sort of transitioned anyway into kind of like a showcase for the next great like suite of pros.
I mean, for Tiger Woods, that's what it was.
Totally. And then they started the mid-am with this idea of like, okay, let's eliminate the college age players. So it's 25 and up, because that means it's like, okay, you're not like grinding it out in pro golf anymore. You're more like normal. And so in some ways the mid-am became more like the original spirit of the US Amateur, because it was like working professionals that played a golf championship for the joy and the honor of it and the trophy, not for the money. And I think like that is very cool and something that's an important tradition. But to me, the idea that they're literally like playing and they're not getting paid for it is enough. I think that's one of the, I think that's just like that's all I need to see, Go play for the trophy.
You're also just friends with Colt Knost, whereas I can be like a little objective here. And be annoyed.
There's no one in golf I would be more happy to call out and talk shit to than Colt Knost. Like we are friends, but we're the kind of friends where I could be like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I actually do think that the idea that like Colt probably gets paid to play in outings with people.
For sure.
Like he's a good enough player. He's got enough history. Like he can play golf for money if he wanted to. But the fact that he'd go out and test himself and play for just the pride of it, I think is like, that's the point of amateurism.
Yeah.
It's not for money.
I'm rooting for him.
No, you're not.
No, but I think that for an argument like this, someone needs to take the other side.
Sure.
And I knew what side you were going to take. So I think that like it makes it more fun if I am a contrarian to you.
Yeah.
I also just try to be empathetic with like every topic that we come across here. And I can imagine being someone who's been like fighting for this for a while and being like, this sucks. This guy, he's so good. He's still in the world. And he's going to swoop in and just take all my glory. I can see that being annoying.
Yeah, no, I can see that too. But also like, I think that also creates like really great stories, right?
For sure.
So like
that's the television producer in you though.
Right. It's like the actual +4 beats the former tour player who renounces his, pro status, gets his amateur.
I guess that's the greatest game ever played.
Yeah. It's like kind of that story all over again. Yeah. But I do look, I think Colt knew what he was stepping into, and he made that announcement on his podcast, and it's been fun to watch people kind of run
freak out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about pre-round rituals. I think you put this into our group chat, and it's an interesting conversation, and I have a blind ranking for you afterwards.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay.
I love this question because I think is a very good question. And I also appreciate the way that this guy comes about. He's like, I just started golf. I kind of don't know the rules. Can you guys tell me what's going on? Pre-round ritual is such a great question, and it obviously is very unique to every different player. I mean, like Tiger famously did like, it's like 50, I hit 30, 56 degree wedges and then, 59 iron, whatever. He did the whole thing. But I thought it would be fun if we did a blind ranking of the things that you can do before a round, and you tell me what's the most important to least important.
Let's go.
Does that make sense?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. And then I do want to talk about this.
Yeah. I'm excited for this.
All right. Blind ranking for pre-round routine. First one. Pound driver.
Like just straight out of the gate? Like just walk up to the box and pound driver?
You go to the range and you're just pounding driver.
I'm gonna say that's a 9.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Up next. So this is from importance level, right?
Right.
Up next, stretching.
4.
Okay.
So I should stretch.
Yeah. We all should.
And I used to actually. It's funny now that I'm gotten older. I'm too lazy to stretch. When I was a kid, I had a whole stretching routine. Like when I was playing junior golf, and probably the most serious competitive golf I ever played was always like, full stretching routine. Club behind the back, the bends, over the top, that whole thing. And I remember reading Tiger's book when it came out in like 2001, and he had he showed that he could like go above his shoulders and then grab his hand behind his back. And like, that was his kind of shoulder stretch, which I haven't been able to do since I was like 16, but I was very proud that I could do that. And I was like, Tiger could do that. I'm Tiger Woods because I can do it too. So yeah, I don't stretch. You probably should. I think it's important, but I'm going to put that number 4.
Have you seen my stretching routine before rounds?
Yeah.
And have you made fun of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's involved.
It's very sexual.
Yeah,
I recognize that.
Yeah.
But as we learned earlier, my back tends to give out on me. So it's a lot of cat-cow poses. And you know what, guys? If you do cat-cow poses on the driving range, don't let them grind you down, all right? Don't let them make fun of you. It's important. Okay, next one. Private club. Use the gym, jump on the stationary bike.
Ooh, stationary bike.
Okay, so this is something that I've seen Hallie Ledbetter do every tournament I've played with her. I'll go down to the gym and I'll be like, oh my God, this is what she does before every round. She gets loose, jump on the stationary bike.
I like that a lot. I'm gonna throw that at number 5.
Okay.
Because I've never done it, but I like that idea.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea because you get moving. It sort of like starts to loosen you up. It gets your blood flowing a little bit. Heart rate goes up. That'll just kind of tend to get you a little loose. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. Pre-round routine blind ranking. The next one. Have something to eat.
I mean, that's a 2 for me.
Okay. That's important.
You got to be fueled up. You can't go too heavy. You can't go full like English breakfast.
Let me ask you this then. Okay, so it's an 8 o'clock round. What are you getting?
8 o'clock round, probably something like some fruit, maybe like I like cottage cheese with fruit for before golf for whatever reason, which is kind of a psycho thing. But like a bowl of cottage cheese with some like pineapple or blueberries, just something to like be in your stomach that's not too heavy if it's early. If it's like a later round, teeing off at 10 o'clock, I think it's good to eat like a big breakfast. Because I've run out of gas on the golf course, like on the back 9, and it hits you hard and you run out of juice. So you gotta be fueled up. Next
one, get a cocktail.
All right, that's gonna be number 1 for me. It makes me sound like such a lush, but it is like part of golf is confidence. And for me, and we've talked about this on our last episode, scariest golf shots, like first tee is scary always, no matter what. The expectations are high. You want to hit a good one. We just talked about our rounds, like at Oakmont, I was on starting number 3, hit a horrible shot. I wish I would have had a cocktail before. Same thing at Jasna Polana. I'm playing with all of my employees. This is like our leadership team, so it's our senior level people, but still, like they're like, that group I was in, like playing with the boss. And like I hit a horrible drive because that's just like straight from, right out of the gate. It's nice to get loose. It's nice to have a drink. I think it's, for me at least, definitely I'd say I'd put that up there number 1 on the list.
Up next, actually use the practice putting green.
Oh man, like this really should be.
This should be number one for everyone.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with number 6. Have I said 6 yet?
Nope.
I'm gonna go with number 6 because here's the thing: like if you're playing at your home course, you kind of know what the greens are doing.
Yeah.
I also have found that like taking swings on the driving range is by far the most important thing. Like you just gotta, and it doesn't even have to be like you're working on anything, but just to get like some swings out, and see what the ball's gonna do. Like putting, yeah, I guess if you're playing like really competitive and you're like dialing in every putt, but for the most part, it's like within one hole of playing golf, like I'll get a feel for the greens.
Yeah.
And you can also just like watch how the other putts are rolling, and if you're playing with people, you kind of know how they stroke it. So
let me ask
it's less important to me.
Let me ask you something. Do you find that this is bad form? Let's say you're on the first hole. You didn't go to the practice putting green beforehand.
Right. You drop a ball.
And like someone else is putting a long way away and you're just like kind of putting it around. Is that bad form?
I think it's tacky.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, I think it's tacky.
I do it all the time.
I know you do.
And I'm not going to do it now.
I know you do. I think it's tacky. I think, look, like, by the way, lag it past and, you got an 8-footer, just drain it.
Yeah.
You're fine. And then by the way, you bogeyed the first 3-putted, like don't 3-putt again.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Okay. Up next, going to the chipping facility.
That is going to be number 7 for me.
Okay.
Although I would say you're probably going to learn more about your feel chipping instead of putting or hitting full shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had to choose one thing just to kind of get yourself ready for a round, chipping is not a bad idea. Like going and chipping, get a feel for how your hands are, moving through the ball. How are you feeling on touch? How's your contact? You can learn a lot from chipping around, but it's not something I do that often, but it's something I should probably do more. And if you watch the tour guys, when they do their warm up, they spend a lot of time chipping because that's where they make up all the strokes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like on the driving range, it's kind of about getting loose and kind of seeing what your swing's giving you that day, but they're so consistent. It's like, and they will putt a lot, but it's more like they want to see the ball go in the hole. So a lot of times it's just draining putts over and over again. But the chipping is really fun because they'll go out there and it's like, they'll hit the different shots and there's so much more creativity to a chip. You kind of see what you're getting that day. And also I think it teaches you a lot about how the ball's going to roll in the greens.
Yeah.
So, if you had to do anything, probably chipping is a better idea than just going and putting or just wailing away a driver.
Up next, going through your bag, hitting all your irons.
What are we at now?
You've done 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I'm going to go with 8 on this.
Okay.
Mainly because I've never been like a go through your whole bag. I don't think I've ever hit every club in my bag in a practice session ever.
Yeah.
And I'm more of a feel player anyway. So I'll like whenever I have my sort of pre-round routine, I don't usually go through like, I'm not lob wedge, sand wedge, gap wedge, pitching wedge, like I'll just be like, I'm going to hit a bunch of 8 irons and then I'll hit some drivers.
Yeah.
Then I'll hit a 4 iron and then I'll hit some wedges, like it's sort of like whatever I'm feeling. So I want to see how the ball's reacting because that's not how you golf in either. You don't like go through every single club in your bag. So I'd put this pretty like low on the list.
All right, up next, take a shit.
What's my lowest one?
You don't have a 10 yet.
No, that's like the highest.
That's the most important one. Yeah. So you've done. You still have 3 available.
That's 3. That's definitely 3. There's just nothing worse than going out there with things not feeling right. So you got to go take care of business.
And especially if it's a big round, you might get the bubble guts. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, no, you gotta clear that out.
You do.
Early. That's like an absolute.
You also don't want it to have it happen on the course.
No, because there's no place to go. Like
no.
Unless you happen to make it happen around a halfway house or something.
Yeah.
You are shit out of luck.
Yeah.
and that's the last thing you want is to have that rumbling around. So that's an important piece of business you got to take care
of. All right. The next one is going to be your last one.
Is it 10? Do I have 10?
10 is the only one available still.
Okay. What do we got?
And this is something that I did today. Go get some Advil from the bathroom.
Oh, God, I wish that was a little higher.
I know, it's important.
It is. I guess it's going to be 10.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. Let's talk about our actual pre-shot routines. What is like you show up at the course. This is not like coming from a meeting and you're just like rolling onto the bus.
I have time.
You've got time.
Yeah.
Is there such thing as having too much time?
Yes, there is.
I've definitely done that.
I used to always be there an hour early, and I recognize that that's too much time.
Yeah.
I think that 30 minutes before your round is kind of perfect for me. That gives me about 5 minutes to go and change my shoes, walk out, talk to whoever I'm going to talk to. Here's my routine. Chip first. Go to the chipping area, because that just gets you loose and it gets your feel going, right? Do that for a little bit. Then I go to the range, and it's like 56 degree wedge, 9 iron, 5 or 6 iron, 7 wood driver, and then I'm good. And then if I have some time, roll a few putts, go to the bar, grab a beer, first tee, ready to roll.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like for me, the pre-round routine is the one place I get imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Because if I'm like trying to play a serious round of golf, which I play a lot of golf, that in some sense would be like a serious round because I'm playing for work or it's entertaining a client. And I'm very sensitive to how people are viewing me. And if I have this like elaborate pre-round routine, I feel like people are watching and they're like, that guy's a tryhard. Like he's trying to be a tour pro. If I really had like, I'm playing a competitive round of golf, I would probably not get there until, 45 minutes before my tee time. Because I agree with you, an hour. I've been there like an hour and a half.
Well, then you get cold in between your warm up and your tee off.
Totally. So like a full comprehensive warm up for me would be like, I'd start at the range. I would hit I'd pick a wedge, a random wedge. I'd never hit lob wedge because I don't really ever hit like a lot of full lob wedges. So I'd always start with probably like a pitching. I've been starting with pitching wedge a lot, like a gap wedge. You're just kind of getting the feel. Then I'll go to some mid iron. So it's like I alternate between 8 and 7. I used to just do like odds and evens when I was younger, but I'll pick something in the middle, usually 8 or 7. Then I'll hit a couple long irons, so 4 or 5 iron. And then I usually won't hit like any woods off the deck, but I'll do like a 5 wood off the tee or a 3 wood off the tee just because it's like, just to see how it's going. And then, driver for a few times. Then I'll go chip, try to hit a few sand shots and just kind of get the feel. And then come back to the range, basically hit the shot I'm going to hit on the first tee.
Yep.
So I'll go back to 7 and I'll hit like 3 or 4 7 irons just to get back to the full swing. And then try to envision what I'm doing on the first tee. So if I'm hitting driver, it's like I'll hit a driver until I hit a good one. That's kind of the last memory. And then I'll go straight to the tee. I don't really ever roll putts because I'm like thinking about the round, But these days, it's way more like I'm trying to meet people I'm entertaining. I'm kind of walking around. I'm like trying to schmooze the hosts and talk to people. And so it's like, if I feel like if I'm like locked in, then it's like I'm being a bad guest. And I know that's not true because nobody cares. No one cares what you're doing. They care what they're doing. They're getting ready for their round. But I try to be really social before the round. And so for me, like a normal warm up is like 15 minutes at max. It's literally like go to the range, couple like gap wedges, couple 7 irons, 3 drivers, straight to the tee, And I've gotten like the best rounds I've played are the ones where I'm like that versus like a really deliberate warm up where you're striking it really well. Cause it's like, it all goes away when you get on the course. I'm not good enough to like take my range swing to the golf course. So for me, it's like a great warm up has been disaster on the course as often as it's led to success. And I've had times when I've just skanked it around on the range and just been like, whatever, let's see how today goes. And you have low expectations. And then you all of a sudden like find it and you start playing well. So yeah, for me, it's like, it's definitely about figuring out, what's the vibe, but also like, I like being social. So if we're playing out our club, like I'm literally just schmoozing around the clubhouse for the entirety of the warm up. And what I should definitely suggest not doing is doing like a leg day workout, which we've done a few times before you play, like a bunch of deadlifting and squats. Not a great idea.
Is there anything from my pre-round blind ranking that I missed?
I mean, I like brushing my teeth.
Really?
And putting on sunscreen.
Okay. Sunscreen's a good one.
There's like a ritual to the sunscreen actually, because like, we're in California, so it's sunny a lot. Mm-hmm. And going into the locker room and like futzing around in the locker room is kind of my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
And I remember, I got invited to Peachtree, which is like my favorite place in the world, pretty much like right up there. And just like futzing around the Peachtree locker room is like my favorite part of the whole warm up. the range and the, hitting a few putts, that's kind of an afterthought. But like, you're going to brush your teeth with one of those little single-use toothbrushes, and you might throw some deodorant on, and like, you give yourself a shave. Why not? Little bay rum on the face, feeling good. A little extra hairspray for the visor to keep the strays from flying away. And just like, futzing around the locker room is the best. And at our club, it's always kind of like right before you play, I'm hitting it with the sunscreen. I'm doing the, bullfrog on the face. I'm doing the spray on the arm. And then you're ready to go golf. As dumb as that sounds, like just looking at myself in the mirror in the locker room, like that's the final moment of like, psych yourself up. We're on the tee. Let's go and hit it.
You mentioned Peachtree. You've played a lot more golf courses than I have, in a lot of like top 100s, big courses out there. Jack Nicklaus, I think, famously said if he could play one golf course for the rest of his life, it would be Pebble Beach. What is your one golf course for the rest of your life that you could play? If you only could play one golf course for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think it'd be the Old Course, actually. Yeah. I've gotten lucky to play like so many of these kind of top 100 courses, and the Old Course just has it's so variable. And I've only played it once, which is crazy. And it's really one of the only courses where I've played 18 holes and I slogged it out. And it was a long round, and I literally got off the 18th green, and all I wanted to do is walk like 30 yards to the first tee and play it again. Just because it, like, the way the ball bounces out there, it's like it kind of doesn't matter how you're hitting it. You can kind of get around the creativity, bouncing it in, everything kind of, all the greens on the first 9, on the outward 9, like run away from you. It's so fun to play golf at the Old Course. And links golf is like that, but like I didn't feel that way at Carnoustie, or, there's places like Ely and Lahinch, and they're awesome. But the Old Course, to me, that's number one. What about you?
Yeah, that was kind of what I probably was going to say as well. And what I think is interesting about that is a golf course that anyone can go play. Of all these private golf courses that are out there that everyone could talk so highly of, and that are on the top 100, I do think that for whatever reason, it is the Old Course is the course that I would love to play every single day if I had to only play one golf course.
Yeah, and like Pebble Beach is amazing,
for
right?
sure,
and it's so much fun.
That would be 1A, I guess, for me.
Yeah, but it's like you play that course, and it's like you could lose a couple balls.
Yeah,
there's the ocean. There's going to be like crazy weather potentially. I mean, you'll get crazy weather at the Old Course, but the way the golf course presents itself to you kind of tells you like what you need to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you hit the shots that are required by the course? And the Old Course is just like this weird white sheet of paper where you can play it any different way. You can literally play the entire course hitting driver and never get it more than 10 feet off the ground and break par. Or you can hit like giant bombs, or, take your driver out of play and just play with an iron off the tee. Like there's so many ways you can play it, and like so many bounces that you're going to get. I think that's part of what makes the course playable again, like is, you hit a shot that you thought you wanted to hit and it got a weird bounce, and you're like, okay, the next time I'm just going to carry it another like 5 yards.
Yeah.
And now it'll bounce towards the hole. And I also think like what makes golf thrilling is watching a ball rolling on the ground. So like the difference between, having a shot where you've got to hit, say you're like 30 yards short of a green, and there's a bunch of variability on how you can play it. There's a version where, like if you're TPC Jazz and Polana, like a 90s TPC course, the only shot is like a high soft one. So you're hitting flop shots all the time. What I love about the Old Course, it's like you can bump it into the hill. You can hit that high flop shot. You can like hit it 90 degrees right and let the slope bring it around. Like watching a ball when you hit a shot, not a putt, but when you hit a shot and watching it roll towards the hole on the ground, I think is like one of the most thrilling, traumatic moments that happens to a normal golfer. And so much of American golf is like the ball hits the green and it stops. Mm-hmm. And there's just nothing more fun than watching a ball chase, which is why, by the way, that putt from 174 yards at Oakmont was like one of the most exciting moments ever, because I'm watching it for literally 150 yards of the 175 rolling on the ground, getting closer and closer to the hole.
Yeah.
And then, slowly drifting past it for another 40, 50 feet. But still, it's thrilling. And the first time I played a link style course was Rustic Canyon in LA. And that's a lot of that. Like you'll hit it to the green and watch it just bounce, and all of a sudden it goes. You get that at Bandon. I think that's why Bandon has such a special place in like golfers' hearts. The first time they go there, it's probably their first experience of like firm links golf.
Yep.
And you have pitches that you chip for like, you chip at 6-8 feet and it rolls 50 feet because you hit it on the right spot and all of a sudden it's getting closer to the hole. And you're just looking at the ball and you're looking at the hole and it's getting closer and you're just doing the math in your head and like, maybe this goes in.
Yeah.
It's really, really thrilling. And so to me, I think those links courses, particularly the old course, is, putting aside the history of it, actually, like if you just took away all the championships there, just the golf course is so fun to play.
Yeah.
I'd put it up there. I want to give a shout out, actually.
Okay.
Now that we're talking about like course ratings, there's a new app that I'm really obsessed with called Course Vaults.
Okay.
Which this is not an advertisement because I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I've been really impressed. The app launched like a month ago. It's basically like Letterboxd for golf. And so it's an app on the, iPhone, and it's social, and that you can like follow other people. You create an account and you can search for courses that you've played, and you can rank them. And so it starts up top. You give it a ranking. It's 0 to 10, but there's gradations. So it's like you can give it a 9.5 or 9.8, 9.7. It actually almost looks, I think it's the same font as like the Gin font, which is kind of cool. So it's like a 9.6, whatever. And then you rate the courses based on, it's like it's 0 stars to 5 stars, and it's half stars, and it's like condition, fairways, greens, whatever. Then there's little like things you can pick. It's like, does it have a halfway house? Like, is it underrated? Is it overrated? Is it a hidden gem? And at the bottom you can write a little blurb about like how you feel about it. And then you save it to your profile. It kind of goes public. You can make it private if you want, but it goes public. And you can follow other people and see what they rank. And then after you get a certain number of courses in your system that you've played, you can rank them like in your own personal, like top 10, whatever, based on the ratings. And then it aggregates it as a rankings page where it aggregates everyone's ratings and puts like the actual every user kind of what the top courses are. And I've been waiting, I get pitched like golf apps all the time. And everyone is kind of some variation of like the Grint or 18 birdies. And it's kind of like a GPS, it's like a course map GPS thing, or a way to like keep score or do gambling games or see what club you have to hit. There's like all kinds of tech that people want to try to solve, but it always involves like having to bring your phone out in the middle of the round. And I just like, I can't do it. Like if I'm playing golf, it's the one chance I have in my life to not have my phone out. And so I just want to play golf. I don't want to look at an app. I don't want to like use a GPS. I want to use a rangefinder if I'm going to use a rangefinder, but like I don't want to pull my phone out in the middle of the round. What I love about Course Vaults is it's like, it's meant for after. It's like when you're done, you've played, it's not, you've maybe posted your score in the Gin app, and then you just go out and you think about the golf course and you rate it. You decide if you want to play it again. It's sort of a must play and not must play. It's a really well executed. And I give a lot of credit to the founder. I think his name is like Zito, and he's a kid in LA. He just built this thing and he launched it on X. So like, that's the other thing. Every app, it feels like these days is like targeting people on TikTok, and they're doing paid ads, and it's like Instagram. And this guy was just like, I'm going to launch this app on golf Twitter, and I'm going to like try to appeal to this, like the burnerverse, which we love and are obsessed with. And it's really good. And I downloaded it this week and have been messing around with it. So anyway, just totally like unpaid ad, but check out Course Vaults, the app. I think they're really onto something. And I want to see people using it more. And I want to see people like posting their reviews of courses. Cause I think that's what I love about Letterboxd, is all these people that you follow who are just become amateur movie critics. They'll post their Letterboxd to their socials, and you're like, oh, I want to see what you thought about that movie. You're not a pro movie critic, but I want to see what you think. And I just think it's a cool community that's kind of growing up in a very young app. I mean, I would say they're still in like alpha phase. So anyway, shout out to Course Vaults.
All right, you guys, you can't knock a great pre-round ritual. It's time for our segment. Can't Knock It, brought to you by Knockaround, proud partner of the Vanity Index podcast. These guys make seriously awesome shades, and now they are the official eyewear of the PGA Tour.
I'm rocking the Songbirds right now. These are kind of like I'd say like a style shade, but they also make a wide selection of performance shades designed to heighten contrast and definition and actually help you see the greens more clearly. It's wild how much detail you can pick up.
I consider you a songbird of our generation. Actually.
Yeah, thank you.
If you want to try a pair, head on over to knockaround.com/golf and use the code VanityIndex20 for 20% off. Some exclusions apply. Definitely worth checking out. Again, that's VanityIndex20. All right, can't knock a good pre-round ritual.
Let's talk about it.
I saw someone on TikTok recently asked a question. What is the temperature of which you will no longer play golf? And I was like, oh, that's a good question. But we live in California, so it can be on both sides of the scale. It could be too low and too high. I want to get your thoughts on this.
I would like to say I'd play golf in any weather, but living in California has really spoiled me. Mm-hmm. So I can think of one time that it's been too hot.
Okay.
And that was last August. I was hosting some people out at our club, and it was one of those like heat waves in the valley. I think it was 110 degrees, and it was for some reason it was humid. And we got on like the third hole, and we're like, this is literally too hot. Like, we're gonna overheat.
Yeah.
But it's weird because if you can go to I played in the summer in the desert, in Palm Springs. It's hot, but like you're in carts and you can kind of manage through it. And even like I've been in Scottsdale when it's been really hot, and it's okay. But like, a little humidity, it was brutal. For me, like, I've become a real fair weather golfer.
Yeah.
If it's under 50, then I'm probably calling it.
Okay.
I mean, the single least pleasurable round I've played that I can remember, like top of mind, was at Carnoustie, and it was like 40 degrees and raining and cold. And I was just like, I didn't have any fun. And I was like mad that I was playing in the condition. We talked about this before, like a bucket list trip. That's a bucket list course. And I just didn't have fun. And afterwards I was kind of like, I don't think it was worth playing, So for me, it'd probably be like anything under 50, like, and we're talking about like under 50 the entire round. So this is like, this is like, it's going to be cold. You're going to be out there and it's in the 40s and it's never going to warm up. Like, that's pretty brutal. And then over 110, I think, is probably where I'll call it. What about you?
I think that's fair. I agree with you. Like, the caveat is, if it warms up, I love it when it's really, really cold in the morning, and it's dewy or even frosty. I don't mind that. And then as it warms up to 70 and 80 degrees, and you're like, oh, this is great. I've experienced all the seasons today. But like, I agree with you. Like, if it's at 45 and it stays at 45, I'm good on that. And then you know how I feel about desert golf. Like, listen, no, thank you. All right. It's just the fact that I have to show up at 5:30 in the morning to go off at 6 o'clock to beat the heat. That sucks.
It's like anything in golf though. Like, if you have the right attitude about it, like if it's really cold out, but you're like it's like a holiday break, you're home for Christmas, you're in college, it's freezing, but you're like, you and your boys are, let's go play golf.
Yeah.
But you just know it's freezing. Like, that could be a great day.
Yeah.
These days, if I'm just invited, I'm playing a thing, fair weather. Keep it above 50.
What did we learn today, Chad?
Well, we learned that you need to just check your ego at the door.
Yeah.
And just play that little, take one more club, baby. Just throttle back and go make a bunch of pars and birdies.
What'd you learn?
I mean, I learned that I should probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that my pre-shot routine probably needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Or my pre-round routine.
All right, everyone out there, thanks so much for listening to the Vanity Index podcast. Please follow us on socials at Vanity Index Podcast on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok and YouTube at Skratch. And thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again next week for all of you golf sickos. You want to go play?
Let's go.
I don't know if my back can handle it.